Welcome to Building Value Together, Collaborative Supplier Engagement. This presentation explores a shift in how organizations work with suppliers. Rather than treating suppliers as relationships to manage, successful organizations engage them as partners in creating shared, lasting value. Collaboration is the central idea, combining capabilities, aligning goals, and building stronger business relationships over time. We'll consider this approach within the broader context of business environments and concepts, and examine why partnership can create value that neither organization could achieve as effectively alone. This slide captures a fundamental shift in how organizations think about suppliers. The old model treated suppliers as interchangeable vendors, with a primary goal of pressing for the lowest possible cost. Today, leading organizations take a broader view. They recognize that suppliers can be strategic assets, bringing expertise, innovation, and resilience to the business. That changes the relationship from transactional to collaborative. Procurement is no longer just about negotiating price. It's about building partnerships that create value and strengthen competitive advantage over time. Supplier collaboration is not just a relationship-building exercise. It creates measurable business value. First, it reduces risk by helping us identify disruptions earlier and plan responses together. It also gives us access to capabilities we may not have internally, including research, materials expertise, and process innovation. Collaboration can improve cost efficiency by addressing waste across the entire value chain, rather than focusing only on unit price. Finally, shared quality standards and joint problem solving create a stronger foundation for continuous improvement across the supplier base. Shared value reframes the relationship between business performance and social or economic progress. The key idea is that these goals can reinforce each other rather than compete. In supplier collaboration, that means both sides should gain something tangible. The buyer builds greater capability and reliability, while the supplier benefits from stability, investment, and opportunities to grow. This is also why shared value is different from philanthropy. It is a disciplined business strategy built around aligned interests and measurable outcomes, so the partnership creates lasting value for everyone involved. Capability building means treating suppliers as partners whose growth strengthens the entire supply network. The most powerful form of collaboration is investing directly in their capabilities. Technical training can share process knowledge, tooling, and engineering expertise, improving quality at the source. Management development helps supplier leaders apply lean, agile, and financial practices that make their businesses more effective. Sustainability programs extend that partnership further, addressing carbon, waste, and ethical risks. Together, these efforts create lasting value for both organizations, while also benefiting employees, communities, and other stakeholders. These examples show how collaboration can create value well beyond a single organization. Toyota places engineers with suppliers to spread lean expertise, strengthening both efficiency and supply reliability. Walmart's Sustainability Consortium brings thousands of suppliers together to reduce environmental impact, while also lowering costs and responding to customer expectations. Apple takes a people-centered approach, investing in education and skills training for supplier workers. The common thread is shared investment. When companies help partners improve, they build stronger operations, better performance, and advantages that are difficult for competitors to copy. This slide emphasizes a central point. Collaborative supplier initiatives do not succeed simply because the organizations agree to work together. Success depends on the conditions surrounding the collaboration. That includes having the right organizational support, as well as strong relational foundations between the participants. In other words, collaboration is not an automatic outcome. It has to be enabled and sustained through the way the organizations are structured and the way the people and teams work with one another. Those conditions provide the foundation for meaningful, lasting cooperation. Successful collaboration depends on 6 conditions working together. First, strategic alignment ensures both parties are pursuing compatible goals. Trust and transparency make it possible to share costs, forecasts, and challenges openly. Executive sponsorship keeps the partnership protected when short-term pressures arise. An equitable value share matters as well, because benefits must reach both sides. Collaboration also requires dedicated people, time and tools, not just goodwill. Finally, clear measurement and regular feedback create accountability, reveal problems early, and support timely course correction. Remove any one of these conditions, and the partnership becomes much harder to sustain. Collaboration is most likely to succeed when it is focused where it can create the greatest value. Not every supplier requires the same level of engagement. Strategic and critical suppliers, especially those involving high spend, high complexity, or significant operational risk, are the strongest candidates for deep collaboration. The key is to segment the supply base first, then direct time, attention, and investment toward the relationships that matter most. Applying one collaboration model to every supplier wastes resources and can dilute the focus needed for the partnerships with the greatest potential return. Successful collaboration also requires active management of its risks. Dependency risk is a central concern. Deep integration with one supplier can increase vulnerability if that supplier fails or acts opportunistically. Power imbalances create another challenge, because apparent collaboration may actually conceal coercion and weaken trust. Knowledge leakage is possible when proprietary processes or data are shared with suppliers serving competitors, so governance matters. Finally, cultural differences, uneven systems, and capability gaps can slow progress, even when both sides are genuinely committed to the partnership. The key takeaway is that collaboration can create a competitive advantage through shared expertise, innovation, and resilience. But shared value requires discipline, structured programs, equitable benefits, and clear measurement. Finally, success depends on context, including strategic segmentation, trust, leadership commitment, and sufficient resources, not goodwill alone.